The history-rich city of San Antonio, Texas is ready for the superstars of Monster Jam. More than 60,000 fans packing their way into the Alamo. Are absolutely on fire, ready for great racing, great freestyle, and you're going to see it all coming up next on Monster Jam. Who's ready for Monster Jam?
Hold on, baby! Here goes the camper!
Tom Ment's 7th World Championship.
Dennis Anderson is the World Racing Champion.
Hi again, Monster Jam fans. I'm Scott Douglas, welcoming you to the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, where it is an absolute all-star lineup, racing and freestyling. And one of the big stories is this brand new truck based on a video game. It's the Donkey Kong truck with Frank Krimmel, and the fans here in San Antonio absolutely thrilled to see this truck in competition. But when it got time to get the racing going, two of the biggest names in Monster Jam were able to make it to the finals. Gravedigger, driven by Charlie Pauken, will take on Jimmy Cretin and the Bounty Hunter in the championship race. You can see your final four. It was Digger knocking off the Iron Outlaw and Craig Christensen to earn one berth in the championship race. The other side of the bracket, Bounty Hunter and Jimmy Cretin with the win over the Patriot. And this sets up truly a showdown of raw, big horsepower between two of the most powerful machines in the industry. Jimmy Cretin, the Bounty Hunter, some think makes close to 2,000 horsepower, and certainly the Gravedigger truck with Charlie Pauken behind the wheel, never one to give away anything in the power department, and both these trucks get off the starting line great. Early lead to Gravedigger on this big oval course. Can he get across the finish line first? Cretin is hanging in there. Boy, they are neck and neck as they come across the line, and it is to the final turn. It'll be decided right here. Watch that finish line. It is going to be Gravedigger, your winner. Charlie Pauken gets the victory. Let's send it down to announcer Greg Whitaker to talk to our winner.
Here he is, Charlie Pauken and Gravedigger, your 1-800-SAFE Auto Racing Finals winner. Charlie and your crew team coming out, getting a big hug. Biggest track, fastest track out here. I had asked you earlier what the Digger had in store for all of these awesome monster trucks that are here, and you said, I don't know, horsepower's a little down in it, but you're going to try your best, and you took away the win.
Hey, like I told you earlier, we don't have the fastest machine out here. We don't have the wide axles. We don't have the best Digger here. But, man, we made her work for you, the fans, because you guys are the ones that make us rock.
How about that? And look at this and what's coming right here. You take the first piece of hardware home tonight, the Racing Championship trophy. Holding it up high, and now you got a chance for doubling down and getting the freestyle.
Oh, that's right. There'd be nothing better than a double down. Man, we're just on our way to Vegas. This is all about Vegas, baby.
Vegas, of course, the site of the Monster Jam World Finals in Las Vegas. And Charlie Pauken is expected to be there, even though he drives for Team Gravedigger. In the past, he has been phenomenal driving Monster Mutt in the finals, coming very close to winning a world championship in the past. But let's get back to the action here in San Antonio, and the highly anticipated new truck, brand new machine, just its second week out, and this is Donkey Kong with Frank Krimmel behind the wheel, doing a nice job on the slap wheelie to get it started. Monster Jam Freestyle, 3 judges. The judges are fans. They will make their scores based on a 1 to 10 system, with 10 being the best. And Frank Krimmel is doing a nice job to try and earn some points from them early on. Donkey Kong, a brand new truck, but Krimmel, not a brand new driver. A veteran who has driven several trucks over the years, paying his dues, learning the business, including several runs during the Monster Jam World Tour in Europe. Probably his biggest claim to fame as far as a victory came in Europe when he was able to drive El Toro Loco to the racing victory in front of a sold-out crowd at Gothenburg's Ullevi Stadium in the summer of 2007. But now it's a new identity for Frank Krimmel because he is the driver of Donkey Kong. That clock in the upper left-hand part of the screen starts at 90 seconds and works down to 0. If a driver stops before it goes to all zeros, he's going to lose points. And look at that save. It looked like the truck was going over, and somehow Kreml able to save it. The judges not giving him a whole lot of points on that score. It'll be a total of 13, and you see him motioning with the hands to the officials that the truck indeed is broken. He has to get some help to get off the track. Well, let's look at some highlights from the earlier run of Thrasher and Pat Suma here in San Antonio. Another veteran who has been at this game for several years. Pat Suma always gives you a great effort driving the Thrasher truck. And here he comes again to finish up his freestyle. Early performances here in San Antonio. This is the biggest field of trucks ever brought to the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Thrasher scores will be just an 8, so not enough to get the job done in terms of moving into the hot seat as the leader. Now we get a look at one of the big guns. That's Jimmy Cretin, who won the Monster Jam World Freestyle Championship back in 2005. Now, the white flag you see on the back of his truck, that Monster Jam flag, is from NGK Spark Plugs, the sponsor of the Monster Jam World Finals. And each week, as we go event to event in Monster Jam leading up to the World Finals, another truck is being named to the field, is being added to the lineup for the World Finals. And tonight, officially, Jimmy Cretin was officially invited to become a part of this year's Monster Jam World Finals field. And when you get that designation, then they give you the special World Finalist flag to put on the back of your truck, and it's something that Jimmy is very, very proud to be displaying right now. He'll take it into the second half of the run. He's been solid so far. Here he's looking for some spectacular moves in the final 30 seconds to impress the judges, and this will do it. Nice job on a slap wheelie. But he got himself in kind of a no man's land. That's not how he wanted to hit that bus, I know. And he's really, the truck looks stuck. Can the powerful bounty hunter get out of it? Yes, he can. Remember, this is one of the biggest engines, making as much or more horsepower than any truck in the business. And you saw it right there. The bounty hunter had plenty of power to get out of that predicament, and he will indeed fill the clock. Well, once that clock goes to 0, the judges are instructed they can watch for one more move, so they'll score that run. As he busts off the wheel, now the judges have to turn in their scorecards, and Cretin's done anyway. There are the scores. It's going to be a total of 21, so Jimmy Cretin now able to take the lead. Lionel Eastler, one of the newer stars in Monster Jam, in his truck called the Instigator. A big Ford out of Kissimmee, Florida. Kissimmee actually very close to the Orlando area. And Lionel Eastler, a driver who's paid his dues driving smaller trucks, but racing them nonetheless on another circuit that sometimes runs with Monster Jam called the Pro Stadium Truck Circuit. And then about a year and a half ago decided to move himself up to Monster Jam and the big 10,000-pound Instigator machine. So Lionel Eastler on the track, but obviously not able to put in the performance that he was hoping to put in, as he's very, very slow, just kind of working his way around. And frankly, the judges want to see more momentum and more action. Although he did get a nice little pop over that wheelie bump car a moment ago. Still 30 seconds, but unfortunately for Lionel, who again is new to Monster Jam and still feeling his way through learning the business, takes him a long time to set up moves, and judges really want you to go from one to another. But how about this? A nice wheelie right there. Big slap wheelie from Lionel Eastler, the newcomer, in his truck called Instigator. And to his credit, he is going to fill the clock. As you see it ticking down, it will hit 0, and then we'll get the scores of the judges. They won't be high scores because, again, Instigator spent a lot of time trying to set the move up, and that's something that, as he gets more experience, you know he's going to get a whole lot better at. But certainly, some big moves and a couple of great slap wheelies during that run from the Instigator. Lionel Eastler will get a score of 12, all the judges seeing it the same way. They each give him a 4. Well, here's Lenny Kilder and the Prowler. We're going to look at highlights of Kilder's run in the Prowler machine. Look at that. That really hurts when you come down on the nose like that. That'll shake you up a little bit, but he was able to pull the truck right out of that nosedive. Still, the run ends very short, and the scores are only a 7 for Lenny Kilmer and Proudly. Here is last year's Monster Jam Rookie of the Year, Damon Bradshaw, driving the Air Force Afterburner, the driver out of Idaho. Look at him go right for the big mountain, and there's the biggest air we've seen all night. Wow. And you can hear the crowd is going ballistic. They loved it here in San Antonio. Damon Bradshaw, certainly a star of the future in this sport, the former Supercross legend, now one of the fastest rising stars in Monster Jam. In just his second year, he has already become a force to be reckoned with, a threat, especially in freestyle, to win every week out driving his Air Force Afterburner. Now, we've already seen some of the biggest air. He's still got plenty of time on the clock. What he does with these last 40 seconds will determine if he gets the lead first, and secondly, what kind of a score he will have with several other top-level superstars still to come in this competition. There is no question that so far in this competition, San Antonio tonight, it is Damon Bradshaw and the Air Force Afterburner providing the biggest air of the night. And there's another huge leap. I mean, he just sailed that bus deck, never even touched the bus in his Air Force Afterburner machine. He will also fill the clock. As you can see, we're counting down towards 0. He'll go back to that big mountain in the middle of the floor. And again, the hang time's unbelievable. He rolls the truck as the clock expires. And yes, indeed, the judges loved it. It's a score of 27, a brand new leader. His name is Damon Bradshaw, and he drives the Air Force Afterburner. But look at Craig Christensen. The Iron Outlaw comes out huge. One thing that we like to say when we talk about freestyle, the way to start it is to announce your presence, is to do something big and make sure the fans and the judges take notice, and that's exactly what Craig Christensen did to start his run in the Iron Outlaw Ford Expedition. Again, look at the positioning on that leap. Beautifully done on the sky wheelie, and then he'll combo it up over the buses. Craig Christensen may be a new driver in the Iron Outlaw, but he's got well over a decade of experience in the Western United States when he was driving a truck that he owns called the Dragon Slayer. His son now old enough to drive that truck so he can take advantage of the opportunity that came about when Lindsey Wink left the 2 Extreme Racing team in the Iron Outlaw truck, and Christensen got the call to take over, but that's not what he wanted. He was having a great run, but he flips it with 30 seconds left on the clock, and the judges will have to deduct points. It's only a score of 18. Phil Foster comes out next in Tropical Thunder. We'll look at some of the highlights for a driver who came up on Tom Mentz's team out of Paxton, Illinois. As he drove for Tom Mentz's team, the Maximum Destruction driver kind of tutored him. Phil decided to get out of the business for a couple of years. Then he got the itch to race again, but instead of going back to Team Mentz, he put together a new deal with a beautiful truck called Tropical Thunder, and Phil Foster is back in Monster Jam competition. Nice job on the donuts, because we're seeing highlights of Tropical Thunder's run. And the score will be a 10 for Phil Foster. So it's Damon Bradshaw still sitting in the #1 spot in the Air Force Afterburner. Dan Radani now comes out in the very popular Patriot Monster Jam machine. Good start with the donuts. Always like to see something big right off the bat. At least that's what the judges are looking for, and Dan did a nice job by jumping right in to some strong donuts to get it started. Still, the problem for somebody like the Patriot and some of the other trucks is unless you can really elevate, although there's a nice strong leap, the problem in trying to get the win is that Damon Bradshaw has already given us some of the biggest air we've seen all year, and to beat him, one would think the judges are going to make you go at least that big and come up with some special moves that maybe Damon didn't do. Right now, the Patriot off to a solid start, and he still has 30 seconds. The truck seems to maybe have a bit of an issue, but he'll fight through it. So something maybe broken on the suspension, but it's not enough to stop him, or at least it doesn't appear to be at this point. So Dan Radani fighting through in the Patriot, despite the fact that the truck not at 100%, and he's going to take that broken truck up and over the mountain. Nice job. So the Patriot gets a big cheer from the fans here in San Antonio, and he's going to fill the clock. We'll see what the judges think, but it is a full run for the Patriot here in San Antonio, Texas on Monster Jam. Decent scores, total of 14, but of course nowhere near their lead score of 27 from Damon Bradshaw and the Air Force Afterburner. Well, anywhere in the world, whether it's Monster Jam US, Monster Jam Canada, Monster Jam Europe, anywhere on the world tour, this is one of the most popular trucks on the planet. Superman and Chad Fortune behind the wheel. Fortune makes just a perfect driver for the Superman truck and the Superman persona, a former professional football player, former professional wrestler, stands about 6 feet 6 inches tall, and he just kind of looks the part of someone who would drive a truck called Superman. Nice job. Now this truck, and Fortune especially when he's driving it, known to be able to hit some big slap wheelies, but we haven't seen any of them yet. And then when you stop and back up, the judges are instructed that that's kind of a negative. If you're in reverse, you need to make a move with it. Spins around some donuts as he gets near the 30-second mark, trying to fill the clock in Superman. Chad Fortune. Down to his final 20 seconds. Superman really looking for something big to wrap it up with. A nice leap right there. That truck looks so great flying, especially with that red cape. Kind of sailing in the wind. Fortune will fill the clock. But again, the problem for Chad here in this competition, as many drivers are having, is that no one has been able to match Damon Bradshaw in terms of how high and how far his biggest leaps were. And that's what you're going to have to beat if you want to win here in the Alamo Dome. All right, one more hit for Fortune. Now the judges will turn in their scores. And Chad, can he hold on to it? No, over it goes. But he does it at a nice time. He filled the clock. The judges will only give him a score of 15. Kind of thought he might score a little better. But again, the judges looking for bigger air than we saw from Damon Bradshaw. And so far, nobody's been able to do it. Here is the incredible-looking Jurassic attack machine. This is Christy Edge, the young lady out of Vancouver, British Columbia. Look at her ride that slap wheelie. There are a lot of people who think this young lady's got a big future, but again, a short run there, and she will not get a lot of score for it. It's a total of 7. Now Adam Anderson, the second generation of the biggest name in Monster Jam, the son of the Gravedigger legend, Dennis Anderson. This is Adam Anderson. If you saw our programs last year in 2007 on Monster Jam, you'll remember that Adam Anderson actually drove his father's Gravedigger for most of the season while his dad recovered from injuries when he broke his shoulder. Well, Adam Anderson now, with his dad back at 100% health-wise, is back inside the truck that he loves driving, because as much fun as he said he had driving his dad's Gravedigger, he's looking forward to continuing to make his own name early on in his career. He's doing that in this truck called Taz. Interesting to note that Adam Anderson has already been very successful in the U.S., but he really cut his teeth on the European tracks. To this day, he remains the winningest driver of Monster Jam events that have been contested in Europe, as his combination of racing and freestyle wins top anybody else who has gone across the ocean with a Monster Jam machine. Final 20 seconds, and look at the big air from Taz. That may be the first leap we've seen that was up there with what Damon Bradshaw did in the Air Force Afterburner, and Taz is giving Air Force a run for the money. Another huge leap. There's still 5 seconds on the clock. The judges will score whatever he does next. As the clock goes to zeros, Adam Anderson shows no signs of stopping, and the judges will take this leap into account, and now they are asked to turn in their scores as Adam just keeps on going. Remember, the lead is a 27 from the U.S. Air Force Afterburner. To beat that, at least one judge is going to have to score Adam Anderson with a 10, and he's doing all he can. What a huge leap. But again, this is coming after the scores are turned in. This is all bonus freestyle just for the Monster Jam fans in San Antonio and all of you watching here on Monster Jam Television. Picture perfect donuts to wrap it up in Taz, and he will get the lead. As I mentioned, at least one judge will have to give him a 10. One did, and the score of 28 means our new leader is Adam Anderson and Taz. Next up, it's Mark McDonald, another of the impressive crop of new young talent in this sport. The Oklahoma native behind the wheel of the Safe Auto Minimizer Ford. He comes right out strong by popping it into a slap wheelie. McDonald already is considered one of the best racers in the industry. He is hard to beat in any race. Where he has had to really work on his Monster Jam performances has been here in freestyle, but he had such a breakthrough at last year's Monster Jam World Finals where his freestyle was so strong he was tied for the lead until late in that competition. So you know Mark McDonald is a driver who is moving his way up the Monster Jam ranks. Nice leap off that big mountain that the drivers have been using to get their biggest air. The problem for Mark McDonald when you're a judge looking at it is that his leap did not seem to be as big as the leaps of Adam Anderson and Taz and Damon Bradshaw on the Air Force Afterburner. And there we've got a broken front suspension bar. Now it will continue to run, and so he's going to continue to try to do whatever he can. And these donuts will allow him to fill the clock despite the fact that he broke his front suspension. It is a total of 17. That's the score for Mark McDonald and the Safe Auto. Well, here's Don Frankish, the Canadian out of the Alberta province in Canada, driving the Maniac. Looking, and you can see, oh, there goes the wheel as he busts off the left front. Now, we know Monster Jam drivers will often try to continue on three wheels, but it doesn't look like Maniac's going to be able to do it. And again, the scores will reflect that it's only a 10 for Don Frankish and Maniac. Now, it's time for Gravedigger. Now, this is announcing your presence. What a move to start. Charlie Pauken, one of the best drivers in the world, a Team Gravedigger driver who hits a big leap right there. Pauken is as good as it gets, and he is looking for a huge win. Remember, he grabbed the racing victory. If he can win freestyle, he takes the big double down trophy. That is almost impossible to win. As competitive as Monster Jam is today, Tom Meents in Maximum Destruction has won the double down on a few occasions, but almost no one else has been able to do it. Charlie Pauken may be giving it a run here. If he can finish up the next half of his run as impressively as the first half has been, he may be laying claim to a double down trophy. The final performer is Gravedigger. To win the competition, he has to beat Taz's score of 28. And he's got 30 seconds to finish strong. He has been awesome in his first minute. Again, huge air. We have seen 3 trucks get that kind of air. Taz, the Air Force Afterburner, and Gravedigger. That makes it tough on the judges to decide who was the best. How about some donuts? That may help him because no one has done a better set of donuts tonight than those right there from Charlie Pauken and Gravedigger. All right, the clock goes to 0. The judges are told after the clock goes to 0, you can score one more move, and then they are required to turn their scores in. So this move here will count, and it's another big leap for Charlie Pauken. What do the judges think as he is going to wrap that up on his lid? What a performance by Charlie Pauken and Gravedigger. A little fire busts out afterwards. The Monster Jam officials running right over. I say a little fire, it's blazing pretty good, and you can see Randy Smallwood leaving the team of Monster Jam officials first to get Charlie Pauken out of the way, and now they'll put the fire out, and there's the famous dance that we call the Chucky dance because it's a victorious dance. All 3 judges put up a 10, a perfect score of 30, and for the first time in his Monster Jam career at a televised event, Charlie Pauken wins racing, wins freestyle, and thus gets the huge double down trophy to take back to the North Carolina Gravedigger shop. What a performance and what a night here in San Antonio for one of the best in the business, Charlie Pauken, driving Gravedigger to a double-down winning performance in San Antonio. It was a huge field of trucks, but none of them could touch Gravedigger tonight. Charlie Pauken ends on his roof with the fans on their feet. As you look at the final scores, the victory goes to Charlie Pauken. Hey, be sure to check everything out at MonsterJamOnline.com and find out everywhere we're going in upcoming events. And you can even shop Monster Jam, find out results, highlights, check videos. And of course, you want to catch us the next time Monster Jam comes to your TV. Be here.